Okay, so this is going to be our minor triads and inversions video. In the major triads and inversions video, I made a mistake, and I actually mentioned that these shapes shift around depending on what key you're in. And what I meant to say is that they shift around depending on what chord is being played. Okay, so you would use any of those A major triad shapes, for example, when the piece of music is playing an A chord. When you're playing over an A chord, that triad would work well. It would work over other notes, but we're going to save that for other videos, for triad combination videos and stuff like that. So in the same way, these A minor shapes that we're going to go over are going to be able to be played anytime you want to play over an A minor chord. Okay, but the cool thing with this is, let's say everyone's playing an E minor. Well, all you do is change what the root note is. So our A, we would just change it. B, C, D. We would change it to an E and play the same shape. And now we're playing all of our shapes in E minor, or over an E minor chord. Right? So it's important that that's universal. That means I'm teaching you with the triad shapes you can play over major anything, and with the minor shapes you can play over minor anything. Okay? We're going to start down here with our slanted shape. Remember, the main difference between the two charts is that the third is lowered by 1 fret. So every green note is just down 1 fret. So we're going to start here. Our A is going to move up to C. Notice that's only 1.5 steps instead of the major third, which is 2 whole steps. We want to go right, same note as what's right here. If you get confused, use your ears, play that second note, and find that note above the note underneath it. Right? But I'm going to play it with my middle finger, bar the next 2. It's our next inversion right there. Okay? Right after that, we're going to slide up. We want our 5th, which is our E, in the bass. Right? 5th in the bass. This is like we're doing a bar chord almost, but then this finger is going to fret the string up after that. Okay? This. Okay, now we want to take all of those shapes and be able to go horizontal. So from here, I like to just remove my pinky and pick up the octave underneath the bar on my index finger. So from here to here, right? Let's start over. That. Okay, then all of my fingers come off. I play the A minor shape. Then my ring finger stays still. These 2 fingers come off and they just pick up the slanted shape. Open E for this area of the neck. So slant, A minor, this chunky shape, and then just lay your pinky down. Okay, that's where you would see, like an A minor bar chord built off that A string. Right? That's that shape. If we move up to the next shape, there's an A minor built off that 6th string. It's really that bar with the only 2 notes that are different are here. Right? So instead of playing the A, remember we were already playing it with the first shape. We need that A to move up to that C. So we're going to play the C with the middle finger, and then, okay, and that E minor looking shape is right above that. See where these two are barred? Just replace that bar with your fingers. Okay, just playing these three. Then as that ring finger comes off, I can lay this down, because the rest of the notes are all here anyway. Anyway, sometimes I'll switch my pinky off of there and then put my ring onto that note and play the next three. Okay, then when that comes off, you're just barring the top three. Okay, now from there, this is our next shape. Okay, so here's how I like to think about this last horizontal shape. Sorry about that buzz, I've got my gain up a little bit. Okay, if you've ever played a C over G chord, it's like a little trick you learn. It's like instead of playing the open C, you pick up the G down here, so you can go, right? That's that C over G. Okay, G is the fifth of C. Notice how the 5 is right underneath the root. That same thing we're playing up here, but our 5 is E, okay, and we're playing our flatted third. So really, if we just pretend like there's a capo here and think about, like in our major video, our C major shape, we're just taking that third and we're lowering it a half step. So instead of, we're going, oh, sorry, our slanted shape. So instead of, we're lowering that third a half step to, okay, and our 5 is just under our root. Pinky stays there. Try not to mute that note with the bottom of your pinky like I just did. Okay, pinky stays, play your slanted shape. Okay, these two fingers, your index and middle, stay, and then your ring picks up that B string for that triangle shape. Now your ring stays still, and these two come off and play like a D minor shape. Okay, your root is here on the A, just like in a D minor. Okay, but we're playing. Okay, so again, on the way back down, D minor, ring stays still, triangle shape, index middle stays still, pinky picks up the root, index comes off, picks up where the middle was, and then the ring picks up the fifth. All right. And then just work your way up and down each of those patterns. And again, anytime someone plays a minor chord, just shift the patterns over to where your red notes play on whatever note in that minor chord, you know, whatever note minor chord it is. E minor, A minor, C minor, whatever. Okay, we're going to move on. We'll touch on diminished a bit, and we're going to go over some seventh chords and some shell voicings for seventh chords. Then color tones. So we got a lot to learn, but you're getting a master class. You're learning really, really quickly. So let me know when you're pretty comfortable with this stuff, and I'll send you more videos.